Alrighty then. I'm going to start out with a quick quote. People may forget what you said, they might even forget what you did, but they will never forget the way you made them feel. And I hope the feeling is mutual. Thank you all for coming out this evening. It's great to see how much our Arsenal family has grown. Physically bigger and stronger, mentally tougher and stronger, mentally tougher and thoughtful as well, and spiritually aligned with our team culture. Knowing these are my final days with Benicia Arsenal, a lot of parents have texted, called, emailed, and come up to me to thank me for my coaching, for providing structure and discipline, for being a mentor, for keeping an open mind, for having flexibility when life happens, and we all know life happens, and for creating a safe environment that was not only fun for the players, but challenging as well. For me, it's the parents that deserve the thanks. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to coach your children. These past 3.5 years have meant the world to me, but it wouldn't have been possible without your love and support. Whether it was organizing this and the other end-of-season parties or the tournament barbecues, welcoming my girlfriend Joanna to the sideline family, driving hundreds of miles for games and tournaments. Tahoe was beautiful and worth the drive. Manteca, though, not so much. Or simply getting your son to practice on time, for the most part. You all show what it means to be great parents, and should the day come when I have my own kids, I hope to be as great as you all. So again, as always, players, let's give a round of applause to the parents. I'll tell you later. Fortunately for me, I already have experience with kids, more than 40 Benicia Arsenal boys. Boys, how are we doing today? I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I'd like to take a quick moment right now to read a quick piece of what it means to me to be a coach, put oh so nicely by another coach. His name is Lincoln Phillips. He is an African-American who coached during the Civil Rights era, and he made history by winning the NCAA tournament 2 times over for the first time with a historically black university. So, it's from his epilogue, and it starts like this. Coach. The word still makes my head tingle with pride. Any title that designates a heightened level of respect and achievement would do the same, I expect. Doctor, ambassador, senator, governor, captain. But to me, coach surpasses them all. It is he who helps people become their best. A coach is a mentor, friend, disciplinarian, taskmaster, therapist, confidant. He is a brother, father, and educator. For many of those who play sports, coach is someone who shapes and influences their lives, for better or for worse. It is an awesome responsibility, and I have cherished it from the moment I was first chosen to lead. How did I find myself on such a path? I can only look to those who affected my life with selfless compassion and commitment of their time. It was my mentors who led me here, however unwitting that may have been. Here is what I believe. To help others, you must also learn to recognize and accept help when it is needed. Along with saying sorry, we men find asking for help the most difficult task. But asking for help increases one's capacity to give help when the moment arises. The African philosophy of Ubuntu says that my humanity rests on my ability to recognize the humanity in others. Coaches, like others who help people fulfill their potential, do so simply because they see themselves. I too was that little boy, juggling a ball on his foot. Times have changed. As I reflect upon my experiences, I sometimes wonder what will become of coach in this culture of headphone-wearing isolation. I know there are good young coaches out there. I helped produce some of them. Not me, this guy. And I'm sure they will find a way to reach the next generation of players. Their reward will be what my reward has always been. Just call me coach. have 4 pages here, so I've allotted about 5 minutes each, 20 minutes, give or take. Start your stopwatch right over there. See you, Brody? Thank you. To my players, it has been an honor and a privilege to coach each and every one of you. Since day one, you have always brought a smile to my face. Seeing you guys turn up early to shoot, even when we should warm up first, trying to nutmeg each other, or myself, or just having fun with friends reminds me of when I was a youth player growing up doing much of the same. When I turn up to the field and see you guys ready to practice, I know my day is going to be infinitely better. You always made my day better. You always made my day better, and I knew I was doing everything I could to help you on the field, but I also wanted to make sure I could continue to have a positive impact on your lives. Thus, I had you guys create goals that included individual and team goals related to soccer, as well as goals outside the realm of soccer. At the beginning of each season, I too set goals for the teams based on past performances, like where I'd like the teams to finish the seasons, as well as what I want them to learn in the process. And it's great to see the progression over time. So, I thought, why not help the players develop a growth mindset by developing goals that they can achieve and look to build on. Just from a show of hands over here, who has accomplished a goal that they had on their list? Anybody willing to share? Hand up. Yeah, Marco?
I broke my juggling record.
Broke your juggling record. How many?
39.
39. Job well done. Nice. Go ahead, Kristen.
Off of the corner.
What?
I scored off of the corner.
Scoring off of a corner. Job well done. Last one. Go ahead, Colton.
Having more shots at goal.
Having more shots at goal. Job well done. And a good little celebration to boot. I cannot tell you how great a feeling it was when players came up to me during practice to tell me they beat their juggling record, or their goal scoring record, or that they were able to maintain their 4.0 GPA. I see goal setting as an action step needed to become successful. What's the difference between a dream and a goal? A timeline. A dream is something you hope and wish for, but a goal is something you can take steps toward achieving. You start your timeline when you set a goal. The steps you take to achieve it are the notches in the timeline, and when you accomplish the goal, you've reached the end. Some players dream of being professionals. I can see a few of them out here right now. But it's the ones who turn up early to practice and leave late. The ones who look for extra training, and the ones who ask questions to better understand the game. Those are the ones that are taking steps in the right direction. If you can apply the same work ethic and the desire to other aspects of your lives, then you are on the path to success. For these teams to become successful, it started with everyone buying into my coaching philosophy for the greater good of the team. Again, my coaching philosophy is to ensure each player learns and improves on the skills necessary, technically, tactically, physically, and psychosocially, to compete and have fun on the field, while developing the life skills needed to lead a successful life off the field. I go on to add each player is a piece of the whole, because everyone is needed to play a role in the team, and PEACE is an acronym, which I'll go through again. P is for preparation is key to success. Whenever we practice, I remind the players it's an opportunity to become better. There's an old saying that practice makes perfect, but I believe practice makes permanent. What you do day in and day out at practice is what we see on game day. This season shows just how hard each boy worked during those practice sessions, and I couldn't be more proud. I is for I'll do better. I tell the players that sorry says nothing, but I'll do better, that's a promise. A commitment to raise one's level. It doesn't matter if I'm coaching the youngest, the middle, or the oldest age group, I constantly hear players yell out, "I'll do better!" and witness them step up their game. It's more than just a saying. It's about the players taking action that fills my heart with joy. E is for early is on time is late. I teach my players about respect for teammates, parents, coaches, referees, opponents, the game itself, and for themselves. Showing up early for me is showing up on time and shows respect for your coaches and your teammates' time as well. As mentioned before, we all know life happens and no one is perfect, but understanding the mistake and looking to improve is all that I ask. Frequently, I'd have a player or two showing up late to practices, and he doesn't drive, so I can't hold him accountable for that. But the fact that he comes up to me and apologizes for being late and tells me that he'll do better shows him taking responsibility, which makes for a happy coach. C is for communication, on and off the field. Ask any of these players, they will tell you Coach Ted is big on communication. Which foot to pass to, whether you want it into space, how we should shift, step, or drop. Anytime you can share information with a teammate is a chance to help them make an informed decision. In one instance, we actually had a foul called against us because one of our players put his name on the ball a bit too loud for the referee's liking, and the referee didn't know what else to do. But as I say in our cheer, say it loud, say it proud. We must be loud for our teammates to hear us and for us to be on the same page, and we must be proud to call ourselves Arsenal players and to play with our Arsenal brothers. E is for effort over outcome. The effort put in is more important to me than the outcome of the game. Of course, we all play competitive soccer and we want to win every game. However, part of the greatness of this game is that any team can beat another on any given day. It all depends on who shows up, who brings their best, and who makes the fewest mistakes. Thus, I will never be disappointed with a result when my players have left everything they have on the field. I will never be disappointed with a player for making a mistake so long as they learn from it. These players come into every practicing game ready and willing to work hard and put in the work, and for that I will be forever grateful. Now, to briefly address each team. To my 2007 boys, front and center. It has been a fantastic 3-year journey with you. Though there are only a couple faces remaining from that first season together, this team has grown and improved with each new face that's come in and has always been a fun group to coach. Whether they were a few 2008s, a 2009, or a couple Zambranos.
She said a couple.
Your passion and love for the game, your determination and drive to win, and the joy on your faces when you play are the fuel that drive me to want to become a better coach. There are a lot to choose from, but I want to share one of my favorite highlights from this past year, the Medina Fall Classic. In this tournament, we lost our first game 5-2, and we knew we had to dig deep to win the remaining games to have a chance to make it to the finals. We won the next game 3-1, moved on to the semis and won 2-1, and then in the finals, we faced the same team that we lost to in the first game, as if it was written for the big screen, the movies. The boys came up with some great goals, tough tackles, and diving saves, which all added to our awesome team spirit, which led us to a 2-1 win, and we became tournament champions. Afterwards, I experimented with a new idea, to let each player take the trophy home with them for a couple of days and write a little note about what having the trophy meant to them. Of course, some reminisced about some great goals scored, the saves made, some daring tackles, and other fantastic plays. But to my delight, I saw plenty of responses that said how awesome it was to win with their teammates, with their friends. I'll tell you this, the wins and losses do not compare to the memories this weekend. Or I'll tell you this, my bad, I'll do better. I'll tell you this, the wins and losses do not compare to the memories made on the field. And I'm so happy these boys and I had this time together. As a side note, with a win this weekend, the boys will also secure first place for this spring season. Congratulations on a successful season, boys. You all play the game with passion, and remember, there's always room to become better. That's where the applause would go. We'll have it. To my 2004 boys, this was one of the first teams I coached when I joined Arsenal, and I am so glad they're also one of my last. This group presented a fun challenge. There was such a diversity in playing experience and ability that matched their individual personalities. How could I get the group to perform as a unit? It was of great benefit having such a collection of returning players who knew what I demanded as a coach, that the newer players were able to fit right into the mix. No matter the ability level, each player always turned up to practice ready to work. On occasion, I felt like I was demanding a bit too much from some of them, but it was only because I understood what they could achieve at their full potential. For this group, my highlight came only 2 weekends ago when we won both games. However, it's not the fact that we won our first and second games of the season, but how we went about winning these games, which is worth the highlight. The boys possessed the ball very well, moving it from side to side, dropping it back to our center backs, playing it up to the forwards. The attackers displayed some clinical finishing, scoring 10 goals in total in the 2 games. Our defense only allowed 2 goals on the weekend, and our goalie recorded his first ever shutout in his Arsenal career. Yeah. Most importantly, the boys showed a great sense of togetherness in the way that they played and the way they conducted themselves, that I knew was possible, but they finally delivered. It's not easy losing games, but it's part of soccer and it's part of life. It's not the losses that define you, but how you bounce back that speaks to your character. Congratulations on the rise in play and in the table. 2004 boys, your potential for success is limitless. To my 2003 boys. When I picked up this group 2 years ago, I knew I was getting something special. And I owe Coach Boren Rosenman a great deal of thanks for his previous work with the team. It is rare to find a group of players that get along so well, both on and off the field. With my teams, I promote a sense of brotherhood within the group, as we are all in this together and must support one another for the team to succeed. That was not needed with this group. They already love to play with and for each other. Instead, the focus was on understanding each other's roles within the team and changes in style and formation, holding each other accountable and becoming self-reliant, and responding to a more demanding environment and rising to the occasion. When I picked up the team, my goal was to get them to the gold level. But we decided to drop them down to the bronze level so I could work with the group and understand how they function as a unit. Fast forward to today, and the boys are undefeated in gold 2 and are battling in a 3-horse race for first place. For this group, I want to highlight the Come Up for Air tournament held out at Lake Tahoe. 2 years ago, we went out to this tournament and made it to the finals, but lost by a single goal. I talked to the boys and told them, at the highest level, games come down to who makes the most of their chances, because you never know when you're going to get another, and who makes the fewest mistakes, because the own opponents only need 1 to score. This past year, we returned with a boost in confidence and once again made it to the finals. This was a gritty, hard-fought game with chances going wide both sides. Everyone was pushing themselves harder and further. And unfortunately, one of our players suffered a devastating knee injury, from which he is still recovering, but happy to see him back on his feet and occasionally on the sideline. During the break for the injury, okay, you got that. We're almost done, almost there. During the break for the injury, I told the boys they had to step it up and give the same amount of heart our injured player just did. They had to find the will to go out and win, not for themselves, but for him. We got a corner with about 10 minutes to go, and we were able to bundle the ball across the line to take the lead 1-0. What a stressful final 10 minutes that was. Whew. The The boys held on though, and won the game, and also became tournament champions. Like the boys, and like I am right now, I was overcome with emotion, but had enough sense to direct them to celebrate with our injured player on the bench. Again, great to win games and tournaments, but seeing the boys celebrate together is the ultimate victory. Congratulations on another successful season so far. You boys are destined for greatness. Three paragraphs to go. Short. The reasons I've left names out of this speech isn't because I want to deprive anyone of their individual acknowledgement. Like I stated in my philosophy, each player is a piece of the whole. We play for our team, not for ourselves. Everything we do together. I believe it's that sense of togetherness, that sense of brotherhood, that makes these teams so great. Boys, life is a book made up of several chapters, and we each have our own story to tell. Although this will be the end of my Benicia Arsenal chapter, it is by far my favorite chapter so far, and I thank each of you for making it the best. As many of you know, even though chapters end, characters can still appear in later chapters. I look forward to the times our paths will cross again, so I can see how you all continue to grow. I wish everyone the best of luck in all your endeavors. All the best. Coach Ted.